Good morning, everyone. This is Lady Dragon speaking. It's Wednesday, October 5th. It's 10:46 a.m. Tons of news this morning. Vlad signed the treaty. EU put a price cap on Russian oil, and now we're going to have the OPEC meeting. Okay? So, let's go here. They are talking in the back. You might pick up something interesting because they don't seem to be aware they're live. And we need to keep an eye. I told you yesterday to put gas 2 days ago. When I told you to put gas in your car. Well, I hope you did so because price of crude oil is jumping here. So they want to cut the production. If they do so, the price is going to rise again, which is not good for us, but very good for them. This is a very important meeting. This will affect everyone on the planet. Bonjour tout le monde. Beaucoup de nouvelles ce matin, là. C'est off the chart, littéralement, tout ce qui se passe. Là, Vlad a signé le traité. Après ça, le EU a mis un price cap sur l'huile de Vlad. Vlad avait dit que s'il mettait un price cap, il y aurait zéro huile. Là, tu as l'OPEC, la Russie, puis le Saudi Arabia sont supposés de couper la production. So, Russia and Saudi Arabia, you know, with our Mohammed bin Salman, MBS, tu sais, avec Mohammed bin Salman, MBS, supposé de couper la production. If they cut the production, this is going to jack up. And this is going to affect everybody on the planet, I said.
Microphone test, 1, 2, 3, 4.
Ça va affecter tout le monde sur la planète. Tout le monde. Ça va donner un edge à Vlad. That's going to give an edge of negotiation with Vlad. So, it's very, very important. C'est très, très, très important. J'ai eu bien la misère à savoir quand ça colle l'heure. Ça fait comme 2 heures que j'ai le feed. Et finalement, j'ai entendu parler. Et j'ai dit, OK, on va aller live. So, it was hard to figure out exactly what time this whole thing will start. I have this live feed for 2 hours now. So, now they're talking. So, we're live. So we're gonna wait for them to get their act together and come. Là, il est 11h moins 10. Non. Ils sont à Vienne, they are in Vienna, Austria. Ils sont à Vienne, en Autriche. Fait que c'est supposé de commencer à 6h, mais 6h en Autriche, c'est dans 1h10. Probablement qu'ils vont commencer avant. Je sais pas, mais je vais pas manquer ça, là, parce que c'est important qu'on soit informé de la situation, là. I don't know, but I don't want to miss the beginning, because it's important. Je suis pas capable de faire un pic en pic. C'est voir ce que je peux faire. Est-ce que je suis capable de... Crude oil chart. Crude oil chart. déjà manqué d'une pièce ce matin. Là. Une pièce et 18 exactement qui a monté. $1.18 exactly that it rose this morning. I want to check how I can do this. Full screen doesn't work. I want to see how I can put it on the corner. Ouais, ici là. Euro, US dollar going down. US crude going up. Wall Street going down. Of course, they're going to go down. Pound, US versus US down. Everything that has to do with US gonna go down. US, Japan, a few more. Forex rate. Currency market. Même le Canadien va tomber. Ah, le Canadien va tomber. Yeah, il y a un Canadien. Marche et il est payé avec le US. Fait qu'il va dropper. Parce que le US dollar, il monte. Il n'est pas payé avec, là, mais en tout cas, il suit, qu'est-ce qui se passe aux États-Unis. Si tu payes, c'est vraiment bon. Bon. Anyway, je vais rester avec l'huile pour qu'on manque la patente, là. Bon, tu vois, là, en 5 minutes, le monté là, était à 1,18 puis il était à 1,38. Continue à monter. Voyez-vous, 87. Ça peut monter jusqu'au 100$, là. Juste avec le meeting, là. Hey, salut Daniel. Ça va, Dan? Bon, là, 1,34. On va checker ça ici. Je sais pas comment le mettre complètement. J'aurais aimé ça le mettre dans le coin ici pendant qu'on a le... C'est pas grave, moi je vais le watcher. On va peut-être le mettre, on va voir comment que ça va être, là, le format, qu'est-ce qu'on regarde. Pour l'instant, là, on va le mettre comme ça. So, I want to see what type of format we have. Type of thing. We can put it like this for now. Like that. It's the best I can do. See? Here. The price is here. Bon, on va mettre ça comme ça. On va attendre. On va voir live le prix monter. Il a déjà monté, gars. 1,47%, 1,28, 24. C'est sûr que ça fluctue, là. I'm not sure it's going to start at 11 or it's going to start at noon. At least we're going to be prepared. Oh, there they are. Look, look, look. Ouais, mais pour moi, ça va commencer bientôt, là. On va regarder tout ça, là. Peut-être que mon timing est parfait. Ouais, ça ne commence pas dans 1 heure, là, cette affaire-là. Là. Pour moi, ça va commencer bientôt. OK. On laisse le son en arrière, là, les coups qui se mettent à parler, là. So, it seems that it's going to start shortly. We are going to leave the sound on to make sure that we don't miss the beginning of all this. This is very, very important. Allô, José? It J'ai hâte d'avoir les free technologies des aliens pour qu'on aille à niaiser avec cette histoire-là d'huile. Non, il n'y a plus de musique. Là. On écoute. Je parle tantôt. We listen. I'll talk to you later.
بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. I would like to welcome everybody in this, our first, after a long-lasting period of virtual meetings. I have to remind our friends and colleagues from the various press outlets that we've been also messaging with you virtually at times when we needed to reach out to you. I found it prominent that we all celebrate with you our return to normal meetings. And because of that, we wanted to make this event a more memorialized event. I wanted to also to share with you the view that a good number of my colleagues found it important that we have a message to relay to the whole world, a message of engaging, a message of moderation, but also a message of caution. We have had a record to celebrate also when it comes to how OPEC Plus had fared over the last 2 years and a half, overcoming all of these calamitous events, starting from COVID, and now we are going through a period of diverse uncertainties which could come our way. It's a brewing cloud, and that we hope with our cohesion, with our commitment to the various approaches that we have built in within our means and ways of conducting ourselves. I have to keep reminding our friends here the clue for OPEC Plus success is first and foremost is our cohesion, and you could see it in front of you. The operative model is very simple, and we urge other international organizations to copy and paste, because at least we have a record to show that we have been successful. We always opted for making sure that we are attentive. And to be attentive, you have to be assertive and preemptive, and certainly ahead of the curve, which means you have to be proactive. It is a simple principle that we found ourselves deploying. That deployment had enabled us to maintain a sustainable oil market. And if you compare what OPEC Plus had achieved compared to what others have been trying to achieve, I leave it for your own judgment to do that appraisal and to give us that grade that I think we own, because it was not something that happened haphazardly or as a stroke of a genius luck or a choke or as a being fortunate. Let's not forget also that with doing so and being festive and celebrative of what we have achieved, we also conducted ourselves discharging our commitment to the global economy. And we have and continue and shall continue our commitment to the world economy, to the betterment of the producers and the consumers. Whatever actions that we have taken, whatever action we have taken today, and whatever action we may take in the future, we will demonstrate to you now and even after that it was all done with the view that we need to be attentive to the word requirements and word commitment. So we are discharging our commitment. We will continue discharging our commitment, and we will continuously prove that OPEC Plus is here not only to stay, but here to stay as a moderating force to bring about stability and a betterment to the and a supporting anomaly to the world economy. We are also mindful of a fact that sometimes keeps people in going through these things, which is not only we are mindful of our own well-being as countries or as national oil companies or operators within our borders, but what we do is very crucial and very important to other exporting countries that are not members of OPEC Plus, and I have to say also to other importing countries but do have a good share of their requirements is being produced locally. And the examples are many. Energy is something that can never be attended to in a short-term tweaks and moves. The world energy markets needs attendance and needs careful planning and needs assertive investments and needs commitment to this investment and needs guidance, without which investment will not happen, without which investors will not be there, and without which, as you can see with your own eyes, it will become a crippling anomaly to the world economy. This is what we are going through when it comes to supply chains. This is what is happening too when it comes to energy markets. I have something to show you. You know me very well. Most of you have been friends of mine for quite some time, which is a friendship that I will continue to cherish and be proud of. But I would like to share with you one slide. Although you know me, I hate to talk about oil prices. I do not make oil prices an issue for me. However, I will show you with a glimpse of a chart what OPEC Plus has succeeded with and what others had failed to do. Can you click the... There you go. I want you to look at oil prices. This is a comparison between what was oil prices in January this year, the average prices of January this year, vis-a-vis the average prices of September. And in the case of Brent, it's 6%. In the case of WTI, is 1%. US gasoline, because there is where we can find at a retailer price, it's 11%. But look at the rest. And ask yourself the question, who delivered? With that, I am, as I said, honored to be surrounded with my friends and colleagues, and definitely amongst the others that are not here, we have proven not only we are colleagues and we are just a band of brothers that will continue to serve our cause, our countries, our people, but definitely, as I would repeat it, we are still, will continue to be committed to be an international participant that delivers what I've just shown in the chart. If any of my friends would like to make an opening remarks. Okay, if you permit me, I will take any question from your end. Hadley?
Your Royal Highness, thank you so much for speaking to us today. And again, congratulations on everyone coming back. We're all very, very happy to see you here. Secretary General, congratulations on sharing your first OPEC plus meeting, I should say, with the Saudis. Thank you so much. Your Royal Highness, I want to kick off by asking you specifically a question that I asked to Vladimir Putin a year ago. Are you using energy as a weapon? It was a question that he denied, but there are people in Washington and in the White House who right now are looking at the cuts that OPEC Plus is making, and they are saying that this is an aggressive move by OPEC. And they're very, very curious to understand why this organization that they call a cartel is moving against the United States and Europe. And Mr. Secretary General, to follow on to that, when I spoke to you just a couple of months ago, you said you had an open door policy to European policymakers. Have they entered that door? Are you having those conversations with them? Because I have to tell you, there is a huge narrative coming from the West right now that OPEC, as you say, a band of brothers, but as they would say, a cartel, is attempting to hold the world hostage, just as Vladimir Putin has done when it comes to energy prices. Thank you, gentlemen.
Very, very provocative question, which I take pleasure of answering Hadley with a quip, not a big answer. Show me where is the act of belligerence, period. Secretary General.
Your Royal Highness, and back to your question, yes, I did say we have an open door. We have an open door. I'm waiting for someone to knock on that door. That's all I can say.
And you're still not getting anyone knocking on that door? Because a lot of folks would say that by this action, by these cuts, you are endangering global energy markets, you are endangering the global economy. What's the response there, sirs?
If you permit me, Royal Highness, we are not endangering the energy markets. We are providing security, stability to the energy markets.
At a price.
Everything has a price. Energy security has a price as well.
Amina and Nasser then. Amina and then Nasser.
Amina Bakr from Energy Intelligence. Your Highness, you've warned many times of the very limited and tight spare capacity. This cut that happened today, how much spare capacity does it free up? And in the future, would you think about returning more oil to the markets, provided the situation changes? Thank you.
Well, the agreement talks about an extension of the current agreement to 23. We have softened even the amount of meetings and the mechanics to make sure that people can get a better sight of our guidance to the market. What we could do, as you have seen in the press release, the JMMC will meet every 2 months. The JMMC has been authorized to hold even more meetings if it requires. And also, the conference meetings will go back to the normal situation, which is twice a year. However, the GMMC will have the authority to call for any additional meetings. The guidance also make sure that we didn't do these things just to meet and have coffee and talk with each other. It meant that we will have to discuss the market situation and see how things will evolve, and based on that we could call for meetings which may require some tweaks here or there. The purpose of it is that we show that we are attentive to the markets whichever way it goes. The amount of and level of uncertainty that we are faced up with today is beyond. I have had 35 years of experience in this field. I would like to challenge anybody who could come and say we've been through a situation as similar as it is today. And if we are not to be attentive or take it lightly, like some others did, when they were not attending to this quantitative easing, when they did not attend to the amount of inflation that were accumulating and propelling, and look at what is happening. They're backpedaling. They are trying to play catch-up. We cannot afford playing catch-up. We'd rather be preemptive than being sorry. And by the way, if we are not to be preemptive, the cost of both time and value will be higher. But again, I would have to stress, it is not just about Saudi Arabia or UAE or Kuwait. It's about an industry. It's about a global economy that would suffer if we run out of energy. This is something that everybody now is going through. And again, I would refer you to the chart that I was just showing, which talks a million words without having to talk about it. Okay, Nasser.
مساء الخير على الوزراء جميعا. ناصر الطيب من العربية. سمو الأمير، في أغسطس تحدثت عن تحذير عن انفصام السوق الورقية النفطية عن السوق النفطية الحقيقية. هذا القرار والخفض ب 2 مليون برميل يوميا إلى نهاية ديسمبر كيف يخدم إعادة ربط هذه السوقين؟
يعني الوضع تغير شوية من ذاك الوقت، لكن ما في شك عندي انه في احجام عن دخول السوق الورقيه بسبب كلفه اللي يسمى البريميوم. بقدر ما تنقص كلفه البريميوم او الهامش الربحي بقدر او كلفه العقود بقدر ما يكون هناك مشاركه. المشكله الان ما هي مع المضاربين، المشكله انه في احجام من يحتاجون هذه الاسواق الورقيه لمعالجه المخاطر اللي ممكن يتعرضونها، خصوصا إذا كانوا صناعات تعتمد على الطاقة بشكل أساسي ومهم، أن لها تعرف كم الكلفة لها حتى تتمكن من إدارة محافظها أو استثماراتها بطريقة سليمة. هذا الوضع الآن الموجود يجعل من الصعب على هذه الصناعات والمستهلكين الكبار أنهم يلجأوا للسوق الورقية لأنها مكلفة، وبقدر ما تكون مكلفة بقدر ما تكون الإحجام بيكون أكثر، وبالتالي تكون عرضة للمضاربة ولما يسمى بالمانيبيوليشن. Okay. Halima.
First of all, thank you so much for having us all back in Vienna. We are all very happy to be back in the Secretariat. Your Royal Highness, you talked about careful planning. This is something you've talked about before, not being, having to be reactive. How are you thinking about, as you go through your planning process, what happens on December 5th with the EU's 6th package of sanctions and the launch of the price cap plan? Are you anticipating significant market dislocations? How are you, with your crystal ball, it's only potentially 2 months away, how are you thinking about that event and preparing reaction responses?
Well, first of all, Halima, I owe it to you as a friend. You've been so kind to all of us. You've been engaged in really trying to excavate the analysis, the true analysis, and without any biases here or there. You were after the truth and after the true analysis. And so I'm very grateful for that. I owe it to say it to you. Be it as it may, unfortunately, none of us can claim that he has a crystal ball. The only person that had crystal ball was Faradon Fasharaki, and even Faradon lost his own crystal ball, because actually this is our dichotomy, if I may explain it in behalf of our friend. We have so many uncertainties. We don't know what will happen to the embargo. We don't know yet how the CAB will be executed and who is going to commit to it and what will be the impact of it. We don't know, central bankers, I would have to say belatedly, decided that they should combat inflation. And they rushed with this new modus operandi of wanting to tame inflation at the cost of the economy. And this is not my statement. You could go and check their own statement. And this is, by the way, it's all over the place. So we don't know how much inflation taming will happen in the future and how that inflation will respond to this taming approach, and how much, more important, how much it will take from the world economy growth to do that taming. It's an open-ended thing. We don't know what will happen with regard to China lockdown. I would have to say something else which might put me in another space, but even if you can imagine that China loosens its own lockdown, well, you may end up with a growth of demand on commodities and all of and you may impact actually the supply chains, and then you will have a propelling effect to the so-called inflationary pressures coming from commodities, which means that it would give credence or more credence to the idea of a continuous amount of taming of inflation through interest rates. There are geopolitical things that are at work, and I don't want to, this is a silo that we don't talk about politics, but again, there is an overriding issues that are beyond the scope of this organization. That's why I was saying earlier that it's making it extremely complex, extremely tough and frustrating for all of us here to try to, with all the modesty that we should have and humbleness that we should have, we should just come out and plain and say we are not in the gambling business. We have to be careful, and we have to be candid with the world that our limited abilities as human is making it difficult for us to project and predict. We have went through an exercise ourselves in Saudi Arabia. We collected every institution, including yours and others. The amount of spread of all forecasts, it was like Swiss cheese is not compared, because it's a variance of huge variance, which tells you a lot about the amount of certainty that people have. If you end up with that exercise, and that exercise tell you this, then if you are not be careful, I don't know what you should do. Sorry, please. I have to ask you to direct some of the questions to my friends and colleagues. Brian the man.
Thank you.
I like some of your tweets, and this morning tweet was a bit funny. But you and I will have a go at each other.
Which one of the 50 tweets this morning, Your Royal Highness?
We'll have a Texan way of getting to each other, talking to each other.
I look forward to that conversation, I think. Your Royal Highness, thank you very much. I will direct this to you if I have to, but also I would love to hear from His Excellency Suhail Mazrouhi. First off, did you walk from the Kempinski this morning? We saw you come around the corner. First off, the same question then to both of you, because you may have different answers based on your viewpoint. How much, Your Royal Highness, has the release of the U.S. Strategic Petroleum Reserve and others in the world distorted true price discovery? And Your Excellency, if you could also answer the same question, we would appreciate it. Thank you.
I wouldn't call it a distortion. Actually, it was done in the right time. And if it didn't happen, I'm sure that things might be different than what it is today. So to start with, I will not call it distortion. And to start with, this is, 7 countries. They have their own setup. It's not a state secret. They have their own mechanics. They have their own system. They have their own triggering mechanisms. They triggered it. And I think we just have to continue to be respectful of the institution and the governing rules. But we are also equally seeking reciprocity.
Thank you, Your Royal Highness. I think it's important. There is one fact that we cannot deny from, which is the fact that there are no investments coming, and not to do what we have to do, as a group, which is concerned about all member countries coming back to their production and putting some of their money and capital into those investments. If we don't do that, then it doesn't matter what a decision you do for 6 months or so, but we will fall from a cliff. And it's not enough that few countries are only investing when we are 20 or 20 plus countries here in OPEC plus. We are concerned about the lack of investments, and I think we are concerned about a lack of a demand or a demand fall due to the circumstances that His Excellency mentioned. And to the other, I think end, I mean, the table is explaining itself. Why are we only looking at oil, while oil is not the major contributor to the economical issues that we are having? Gas, I would say, and other commodities, coal and others, are affecting the world economy much more than crude oil and products. So I think we need as professionals to look at those markets, look at what others could do to also copy or take us as a lead in what we are doing in terms of ensuring that investments are there and the prices are reasonable as well to the consumers. We care about the consuming nations, and what we are doing is to ensure that we have more oil coming to the market for years to come. It's not a short-term thing.
Thank you. David Shepherd from the Financial Times. I just want you, for the people at home, to explain to the average motorist why you are so concerned about oil prices when they're already historically at quite high levels. The average people filling up their car will feel the price seems high to me. Why is OPEC saying we need to reduce production now when prices are already relatively elevated and the economy appears to be struggling?
Well, David, you could see reality in whichever way you want. I showed you now that oil prices are as they were almost back in January before this crisis. Check your motorist and see what they are paying for gasoline or diesel, and ask yourself the question where the money is going. You will see it in refining capacity and in refining margin and what have you. That is when it comes to Europe, when it comes to the Euro 85. Check that number and you will see what is the take of the producer, and you will find it as it is here. You know, I have Brent here. I take it, you're living in the UK. I take it also, why don't you be much more concerned about what would be the electricity prices that would be paid? What would be the gas prices that would be used to heat people, heating in this way? What, as again Sahel was saying, what is so odd about oil when it is only registering the most modest amongst other sources of energy? You have coal now, and you have gas here, and if you want to see what is electricity prices would be, look at the two, and you will figure out what would be the bill.
Can I just follow up the question?
Absolutely.
Just to follow up the question, and thank you for taking it. The gas price is widely seen in Europe and much of the Western world as having been manipulated by Russia, which has cut supply. Mm-hmm. People will now see Saudi Arabia and the core members of OPEC and OPEC Plus cooperating with Russia to try and raise the oil price. It's a simplistic view, but
David,
that will be the view.
David, you want to twist it to your end, fine. It's your prerogative, it's your right. We've been collaborating with all OPEC Plus countries ever since December 2016. So it is not an accident of mutual convenience, if you could call it. Again, it is not about, it is the act and the result. Show me, as I was saying to to Hadley, where is the belligerence? Where is the ill intentions? There is nothing else to showcase and to prove that we are not doing what you are accusing us to doing than the chart. Look at other commodities. What is happening to other commodities? Even milk for the children. Look at that, how much it is expensive. And don't accuse us of also OPEC Plus has something to do with milk or, or what? Okay. Yes.
The mic, please.
غالب درويش اندبندنت عربية. سيدي الوسائل الإعلام الأمريكية التي وصفت قرار أوبك بلس بخفض الإنتاج أنه غير ضروري، هل لذلك تأثير على قرارات المنظمة في المستقبل؟ وفي نفس الوقت كبار المستهلكين يطالبون المنظمة بزيادة الإنتاج، كيف ترون هذه المطالب؟ شكرا.
بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. طبعا في البداية I would like يعني أشكر His Royal Highness Amir Abdulaziz for giving me the chance to visit Vienna for the first time. This is my first attendance. طبعا فيما يتعلق في يعني موضوع أنها تكون غير unnecessary أو غير مطلوبة. طبعا هناك مثل ما احنا دائما نقوم فيها شهريا خلال الاجتماعات الدوريه نقوم فيها بمتابعه كل ما يتعلق في الدراسات للسوق والسوق النفطي، فيما يتعلق في ايضا في السبلاي ديماند فورمولا، وايضا مثل ما هو معروض امامكم فيما يتعلق في الظروف المتعلقه في صناعه الطاقه. كل هذه العوامل طبعا تؤخذ بعين الاعتبار، ودائما احنا نحاول ان نكون proactive في هذا الخصوص. واعتقد اليوم القرار اللي اتخذ هو انعكاس مباشر لهذه العمليه. هي عمليه تحتاج الى اخذ بعين الاعتبار جميع الجوانب. هناك لا يقل عن 6 أو 7 عوامل توضع على الطاوله للنقاش. وهذه العوامل من غير ما ندخل في التفاصيل لو اتكلم عنها بالتفصيل، هناك من الامور في كل عامل قد ياخذ ساعه في النقاش. وهذه العوامل الكل يعرفها. هناك الضغط الاقتصادي، ايضا الانفليشن، هناك امور تتعلق في الوضع في الصين ما حد تكلم عن الوضع في الصين اليوم. هذه التحديات كلها تؤخذ بعين الاعتبار، وقد تؤدي إلى ما ممكن أن تؤثر على عملية البالانس بين السبلاي والديماند، وهذه الأمور اللي ناخذها دائما بعين الاعتبار. فهذه دائما احنا يعني العمل الجماعي لهذه المنظمة للقيام بهذا الدور المفصلي في الوقت المناسب. وأنا أعتقد أن اليوم العامل الأساسي اللي هو عامل الوقت، متى نأخذ القرار، وهذه هي التحديات اللي أمامنا. هل نأخذ اليوم، نأخذها بعد شهر، نأخذها بعد 3 أشهر؟ يمكن سمو الأمير يمكن أخبر مني في هذا الأمر. إذا ما تأخذ القرار بالوقت المناسب انعكاساتها جربناها في كثير من الأمثلة. يمكن نرجع إلى 2008 معالي سموك، وكل التاريخ يرجع إلى هذا التاريخ. لم أكن في هذاك الوقت مشارك بما جرى، ولكن أعتقد أن نحن نتعلم من التاريخ. شكرا.
Please.
شكرا سمو الأمير. صبا عودة من تلفزيون الشرق. سمو الأمير، هل الخفض الذي نتحدث عنه اليوم البعض يقول بأنه لن يكون له الأثر الحقيقي على السوق بالشكل المطلوب، بنفس الوقت سيكون له أثر كبير على زيادة مستويات التضخم، وأن يصبح التضخم شيء يبقى في الاقتصادات العالمية لفترة أطول؟
ما في نسق. إذا كان ما له أثر فمعناته كيف يأثر على التضخم؟ يعني ما أدري، يمكن إذا كان بالمناسبة أذكر مسرحية عادل إمام الظاهر، يا تنتن يا تنتن، يعني ما في يا هذه يا هذه، يا في أثر we try to measure it، يا ما في أثر. صلى الله على محمد وهدينا.
كون التخفيض 2,000,000 برميل راح يكون من الأساس من البيت.
ما أقدر أنا كرئيس مجموعة ما أقدر يعني أنتهك حق دول أعضاء.
نعم.
فيه استيميت بس بعض الأرقام اللي طلعت اليوم بعد هذا ما هي صحيحة. حكاية 500,000 هذا هلس، مو صحيح.
بالضبط، هذا هو السؤال. الأرقام
يعني
موجودة.
أنا بدون انتقاص من لاحظ المجموعة الموجودة الآن يمكن هي اللي تتحمل التخفيض الحقيقي، لكن يمكن our estimates في حدود يمكن 1,000,000 1,100,000 حاجة زي كذا.
1,100,000
مليون إلى 1,100,000
من قبل الأعضاء،
ولكن مع احترام حقوق كل دولة في حقها والمحافظة على قدرتها في أنها تنتج حصتها، لكن تظل يعني مسألة تقديرية.
شكرا.
هذه no. We'll have to give our friend here.
Thank you very much, Minister. Alex Lawler from Reuters News Agency. I had 2 questions. The first is...
But no, Alex, I have to talk to you about. So you have got it wrong.
Okay.
And you have got it wrong twice.
Before I ask a question,
and you will get it the third time if you did, as Reuters did not do a proper job. You talked about Russia doing this and that, and actually the day that your story came out, no one from Russia talked to me, nor I talked to anybody from Russia. You repeated that again with another tale of a story prior to that Saudi and Russia, blah, 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 are congregating around $100 price. That is not true. And I spent 20 minutes from one of your respected members of your bureau in Dubai explaining to her, or actually 25 minutes, why we don't go as Saudi Arabia for price targeting. And that 25 minutes went in vain, and I really don't like that. I acted in a very respectful way, emanating from respecting the agency, and I think, but you elected to choose a phantom Saudi source, if I can do it as British as I could. But if you have questions, direct it to others, but not me. I'm not talking to Reuters until you respect the source, which is the energy minister on behalf of the Saudi government.
Okay, thank you. I won't ask.
So you ask the questions to any of my colleagues. Okay? Please.
Many thanks. Grant Smith from Bloomberg. Your Royal Highness, there had been some speculation before this meeting that perhaps...
I didn't know that Scotland is here.
Scotland is here and well represented, Your Highness. Thank you.
Amenably more than well represented.
If I may, Your Highness, there had been some speculation before this meeting that perhaps the Kingdom and perhaps Russia and some other countries may consider some supplementary voluntary adjustments, such as those the Kingdom has done in the past. Is that something that you did consider or would consider going forward? And if I could also ask, you've spoken about the uncertainty in the market right now. Could you elaborate a little bit more on the supply-demand conditions you're seeing right now that have merited this production cut? Thank you, sir.
Okay, Grant. I see, we all see a greater level of uncertainty. So, and we do see curves. And I would like to, Mohammed, can you show some of the things? This is what we see in terms of GDP growth. So it is a trend. You could see it in front of you. I don't know if you can see it, Grant. What else do we have, Mohammed? This is, again, a demand, but this is a trend. Now, we don't know what is happening in not even, yes, tomorrow. But this is the kind of trend when it comes to demand. This is extrapolation of the past and how it has been going. Now, this is the trend when it comes to possibility of recession. And you could see, and this is not, by the way, it's Bloomberg. So if you're deceiving the world, that's your, but it's Bloomberg and others, actually. And look at these higher and higher probability. That's a trend. And is there anything else, Ahmed? Here you go. Here you go. I will keep the rabbits coming. Don't worry. This is the amount of interest rates hiking that has been happening and will continue happening, as we've been told by central bankers. If these things are not an indicators of what may come in the future, I don't know what else. I think we should be in the grocery industry, not the energy industry. I would refer you to the good interview that I did with Bloomberg, where I spoke about what OPEC Plus do, but I want to assert something on behalf of our colleagues. When we talk about we have all means, and it goes both ways. It doesn't go one way. We are again. I don't think we have to enhance our credentials of being a respected and responsible producers. And we shall act and react to what is happening to the world global economy in the most responsible and responsive way. Please. No, I don't.
Thank you, Royal Highness. Paul Sankey. Now, we're all delighted to be back here post-COVID, and I was wondering if it isn't time to reset the quota system to reflect that we are hopefully post-COVID, and it's very confusing, quite frankly, at times, exactly what the cuts are and where the baselines are and everything else. Could I request or ask you if you're going to reset everything so that we can...
No, that's a valid question, and we talked about it, but then we decided that because of the nature of the situation, and again, the irregularity of the ask now and the situation, we opted to extend the agreement as it is and make sure that we will buy the time, that we revisit all of these things, hopefully with time when we have a more, our priority now is stabilizing market. Now, we could be accused of wanting to influence market in a negative way. That's everybody's prerogative. You and others will see how we conduct ourselves in the months to come. But with this situation, prevailing situation, I think we ought to buy ourselves a good period of working and focusing on how to attend to this market situation, and then hopefully somewhere later on 23, as we hopefully can come out of this situation, we will have the time and the days to and again reinvigorate ourselves with some reality check.
Thank you very much. I work on Wall Street, and if I could ask a follow-up, we have something that we refer to as the Saudi put, which is the idea that you'll defend $80 oil. Should we read from this that you're putting a floor on the price of oil to maintain reinvestment and to avoid excessive weakness?
You're reminding me of Phantom of the Opera. So we have Phantom Saudi source, Phantom put, and Phantom call. So I think we could just switch off this video conference, media conference, and switch on Phantom of the Opera as a replacement of a reality check. But there is no put and there is no call. As a Saudi energy minister, and I'm sure that almost all of everybody here, they are long-term producers, if I may, on your behalf, and please share with me, they are in this business for years and years to come. The most pivotal and more important thing for all of us in this table and others who have a huge amount of hydrocarbon resources is to make sure that we have a stable, sustainable, stable market that will not inhibit investment, that will not inhibit growth of demand, and we have to act in a way, in a responsible way, to assure people that we are still remaining a responsible producers, that the world can rely on us. I have, just for giving everybody a chance. Yes, please.
Your Royal Highness, thank you very much for bringing us all back here. It's really good after 2.5 years to be back here, first of all. Cornelia Meyer Resources. I totally get the outlook, the negative outlook, the potential for serious recession. Have you, when you look at it, also looked at the what if China gets out of its COVID lockdowns, and have you do you have a view on what that impact would be on demand?
Happy to answer that. I think there is a mechanism. So we of the given that we have explained today, that's the decision that we think is the right decision for all of us, not only for us as producers, but also for the long-term market. Now, if something of a magnitude that requires doing something different, we are a phone call away. There is a mechanism. We have done it before, and our intention is balancing the market, bringing investments, and our intention is to be a long-term players, not a short-term players, just attaining to. And one thing very important, we're not a political organization. We are an organization that meets on technical grounds, discuss on a technical ground, and our aim is to help the world economy to recover and to bring prosperity back to the market. Unfortunately, today, we have shown you the indications, and they are not encouraging us to do something different that will trample us in the future. I hope I answered the question.
Hello, Herman Wang with Platts. Pleasure to be back in Vienna. Thank you for organizing this reunion of all of us. But I did want to ask a question to you.
Herman, you are the last person I would forget.
Well, thank you very much.
But I was wondering, where are you?
I'm right here. A question for yourself, Your Royal Highness, and also as well for your counterpart from the UAE, especially in light of the aggressive expansions and production capacity that your national oil companies are investing in right now. I just wonder why extend these quotas all the way through the end of December 2023? You're locking these in for over a year, and you've said yourself there's a lot of uncertainty in the market. What's the reasoning behind such a long-term quota setting?
Well, maybe I responded to it. Maybe you were not here, but we wanted to give the market a guidance. But that guidance could change relevant to the situation that may prevail. But as it is today, we feel much more assured that we should give that comfort to the market that we're here for the full year, for the full 14 months, if it requires. However, if the things changes, we will tweak with it. If things get worse, we will have to also tweak. And I'll leave it to Mohammed.
I think that goes the same. The fact that our countries are building a reserve is a long-term investment. That's a commitment that we have done as a responsible producers. We'll continue doing that. But also, we would like the other countries to spend enough to maintain and go back to their production quota. If we're just selfish and just looking at ourselves and not looking at the overall, believe me, there will be no enough investments that alone we can do to bring enough to the whole world. And if something, like I explained earlier, if something requires us to reverse or do something different, we are a concerned party of the market, and we will meet and we will take again the right decision. We have done it over and over, and we have proven ourselves that we are a reliable group that have helped everyone, I would say, seeing a 6% rather than seeing an unattained markets or commodities. You've seen what happened to them, and unfortunately no one is even talking about those as much as they talk about the gasoline or diesel prices. It's important that I think we put more emphasis on those commodities, electricity prices and gas prices, because they are affecting the world economy much more than crude oil and products. Thank you.
Yes.
Hello. My name is Antonio Sanchez with EFE, the Spanish news agency. The White House has just issued a statement.
No. Please, we are, again, in this building, we call it the silo. We talk about oil, we talk about energy, and we are a very group of technicians. This is our job. So I'm afraid even our friends and colleagues from the media have to abide by the same rules. We will discuss oil policy, energy policies, and technicalities. This is way above our pay grade, if you could call it. If you don't mind that.
I do, but...
Helem, yes, what do you want again? You always want something, but I always deny.
Well, I still have to keep asking. Your Royal Highness, thank you.
You have every right to ask, and I have every right not to respond if I wish to.
This is true. This question actually is for Your Royal Highness and His Excellency Suhail al-Masroui. I believe our colleague was just mentioning a White House press release where essentially they had said that they were disappointed by
No.
My question has to do with energy poverty. It's a conversation that I've been having across the world, and as you both know, I'm a citizen and resident of the UAE, but of course I'm also an American citizen. So when I have those conversations, the idea of energy poverty and the idea of social unrest really, really hits home to me, because the idea that we could have a situation where what I consider my part of the world, the Middle East, could be at odds with those in the United States, the West, where my parents live, where so many of my friends live, it's deeply disturbing to me. And we're talking about now energy poverty across the West, in Europe and elsewhere. I'd love both of you gentlemen to just respond to that in terms of what is OPEC as an organization willing to do when it comes to energy poverty and the possibility of civil unrest. Because I don't think that's political. I think
excellent.
I think it's a great question.
No, excellent,
and we
excellent.
want to hear what you have to say.
You couldn't. This is the first time you asked me an excellent question. But I'll tell you what. Just next door, there is an institution called OFID, and they have an energy poverty program, which has been active and proactive. We, within the Middle East Initiative and Green Initiative, we have lots of, and we have a program called Sustainability Program that will work with many, I have to be specific, African countries and Southeast Asian countries to play a role in trying to bring about. And I'm willing to provide you with statistics.
But what about energy security, energy poverty in the West,
No,
in Europe, in the United States, elsewhere? People who are moved to civil unrest as a result of the decisions made in this room.
That's the role of the respected governments of countries that I think can afford it, if I may. But I will. But you have to distinguish. I think the principle of energy poverty came first and foremost on countries that are truly suffering because they don't have the lack in the means. They're given the proposition: burn wood and be sick, or somebody is gonna have to provide you with something better. This is, for us, is the most important and relevant thing. And you will see in our statistics there are at least 2.5 billion people that are suffering from that energy. 700 million of them are not even in Africa, but at least. And this is, if this is not a sizable sum that we should focus on, I don't know what we should do in this world. And this is emanating from what I would call it the arrogance of the wealth. People think that everybody else is living in their standards, and the choices that others are given is, it's like, can't you get your Ferrari to be electrified when the poor guy, he barely have to cut trees and make his food with burning wood? That's the choice today.
Well, I think Europe is very important to all of us, and we have them as investors, and we have companies from Europe as investors. The relationship is great, and I don't think we're talking about an energy poverty rather than an energy security. The issue is energy security, and Europe is trying to look at means of attaining to that. But when we talk about energy poverty, I don't think we're talking about Europe. I think we should be talking about Africa, South America, the East, and talk about people who doesn't have access to energy, period. Having access to energy and choosing one over the other, looking at the taxes compared to the price of energy, that's another thing that I think Europe is unlike many countries, like our countries, and as you said, you live in the UAE, you can compare. You can compare the prices of electricity and you can compare the prices of others. The majority is taxes. Now, can we do anything about that? No, of course not. And we will not discuss it. That's the business of those governments. But I think the issue is more into the gas, and the risk to Europe is more into the gas than it is to not getting enough crude or not enough oil. We will make sure always that we have a balanced market, but and if we have to do more, we will do more. but we have to be proactive, not to bring the market to crash and then takes more time to fix it. And if that happened, guess what? The decline in many of the countries will be enormous. We cannot then fix it. And we are looking a way longer term than I think what some are, some of the journalists or media looking at us, looking at 6 months, looking at a 1 year. We are looking at a long term. What's going to happen in 2024, end of 2023 to going to 2024? Who can guarantee us that the level of production that we see today is going to be granted? You all remember when we started in 2020, what was the baseline for many of those countries, and what is the baseline today? That's all due to lack of investments. And in order to invest, the price is one of the mechanisms that encourage investors to invest, whether we like it or not. But fortunately, because of this organization, the impact on price to the consumers is the least compared to any form of energy. And the table we showed you explains that. So if you could explain. Then I think we can have a candid discussion about where is the oil. But what's important to us is that long term, bringing investment, the sustainability of this market. And I can tell you that UAE, in terms of dealing with the poverty, we are also helping through renewable energy. So we are introducing new forms of energy, or even though we are an oil producer. We have done that in collaboration with IRENA, and we have given grants and done projects in many countries to deal with energy poverty. So I think as a country of our size, we have done much more than bigger economies in Europe or in the US or elsewhere.
We have His Excellency. He has also some additional remarks to make on this particular question.
Thank you, Your Royal Highness, and I think, as you said, it's a very excellent question. I'm very, very, very happy to hear that kind of question being asked now, because we are fully committed for that. As organization, we are fully committed for energy poverty. Yes, I'm not sure that when you say energy poverty, it has the same meaning that I can have as an African country. Energy poverty in Africa means 600 million people without access to electricity. That's energy poverty. It means 900 million people without access to modern gas. I don't know if you can understand what it means, having no access to electricity, no access to modern gas. That's what we have to face. And some of those countries are members of OPEC and OPEC+. Why are they here in OPEC and OPEC+? Maybe it's interesting to try to understand why. Because those countries, they need the revenues coming from oil and gas. They need it to be produced in a long-term forecast, stable market, which give the long view and long-term expectation for the revenues. Because that revenues are used by those countries to address the issue of energy poverty. Yes, that's why we need to have a stable market. We need to have a good view of what will happen in the future. We don't need to have surprises all the time, shocks and non-shocks. Never know what will happen tomorrow. We need to have a clear view for the 10, 20 years, so we can have politics, strategies to face, to struggle against energy poverty. Yes, yes. I will just add, Your Highness, behind the ministers, coming here for meetings, you have people, you have population, you have countries, you have needs, you have some hope for well-being, some hope for being developed, some hope to a better life-being, yes. Behind the minister, you have countries, yes, you have population. So I don't think that we're doing things here against anyone. No, we're doing things for our population. We're doing what we think is the best for our population. And at the same time, we think that is the best for global economy because it's good for the market. So really, I don't have too much to add. The position of OPEC and OPEC Plus is fully supported by Africa. Not only the producing countries, all Africa fully support OPEC and OPEC Plus position. We have an organization in Africa which is called APO, it's African Petroleum Producing Organization. We work very closely with OPEC and OPEC Plus, and we fully support. I think the next COP27 will be the opportunity. You will hear our head of state saying a very strong message about what's happening on the oil market for the world. Thank you.
We promised you transparency. I think we can proclaim that we have discharged our commitment. It's your choice, of which we hope that you can, with all the answers that we gave you, that you can report it. And we have no other mean but to rely on your honesty, professionalism, and objectivity to tell our true story, not the story that others would like us to be framed at. Thank you very much again. Look forward to see you in December.
Hi everybody, this is LadyDragon speaking. That was very, very interesting. Very, very, very interesting meeting. I'm not feeling too good today. My body's worn out, my immune system is not doing too well, so I'm chewing a bit, so that's why I'm muting. Ok, là, avant qu'on continue tout ça, là, je veux rewinder. Qu'est-ce que je vais faire? Attendez une seconde. Hey, je suis tellement contente que j'ai pogné cette fille-là matin. Allô tout le monde, allô Sylvie, allô Martine, allô Maurice, allô Grace, allô tout le monde, là, si j'ai pas nommé, là, c'est parce que là, j'ai oublié, mais je veux pas oublier. Good morning, everybody. I cannot speak while I'm you know, during press conference, I must listen. If you want me to explain things to you, well, okay, let's see, first of all, where's the oil price? The oil price is 88. Only 1.65% is not the end of the world. No, well, the price hike is 1.66 and the percentage is 1.91. No big deal, okay? I will tell you why. You know I'm an expert in crude oil, so I can explain this. But I want to do something before. And I want to switch this here. Oh, first of all, I'm going to show you the crude price right now. Look here. Let's bring this here. Okay. Can we get this full price here? Okay, look at this. everybody was expecting, I don't know what exactly they was expecting, but I expect the thing going down because he's going to stay like this. The slide that you put at the beginning, crude oil iceberg will understand what I'm saying. And if you're not, I will explain. They would expect big hike, but this is the same thing. And he told half the West, like, just bye-bye. So they won't have the soundbite that they want on the TV news. So this is why the price is going to go down. Okay, because the slide that you put 6%, that means you have nothing to complain about because it was like this before this whole thing started. So you have nothing to say against us. So that you see the price going down? Because the price will stay similarly like that. He said points. He says 6%, so it's gonna be like that. So there was a very, very shrewd and very, very wise answer for this guy. See, it's going down. It's gonna stay like this, so might as well get used to it. So that's what he said. Ok. Bon. Ça, c'est le live. Vous savez que moi, je suis un commodity trader, fait que je connais tout ça de A à Z. Ok. Regardez, là, le prix de comment c'est. Ça, c'est live, hein. En passant, c'est live. Moi, je fais juste du live, hein. Ok. Ici, je peux-tu avoir le prix ici, là? 86. Ici, là. C'était quelle heure qu'il est, là? Ok. Hier soir, 86. Regardez ici, à minuit, là. Ici, ça fluctue tout le temps la nuit, ok? Bon, à minuit, le prix était 86,21. Ok? Là, tout le monde commençait à s'apercevoir qu'il y avait le OPEC meeting. A monté un petit peu. Mais regardez, là, c'est pas beaucoup, là. Regardez le pourcentage, puis le pourcentage, regardez. Regardez le pourcentage, puis le prix qui a augmenté, là. Ok? C'est pas la fin du monde, là. Ok? Alors, tout le monde dit, oh, ça va montrer à des... Ouais, je savais pas ce qu'elle allait dire. C'est pour ça qu'il fallait voir ce qu'elle allait dire. I did not know what he was going to say. But now that I've seen what he said, they are really in deep trouble because they didn't say what he wanted to say. They were talking against Russia and didn't say one word. Okay? And there's plenty to say about the whole thing. So, just hold on. So, look at this, okay? So, the price has not gone up off the fucking chart, like I always say. It just, no. It was before the meeting. All of this was before the meeting. When the meeting started, the whole thing started to go down. Okay? Especially when he told Router that he's not going to answer the Router answer because routers are liars. So he was very adamant about this. Voyez là, la chose là, Ado Louiselle, ça là, ça a droppé quand il a dit, Router voulait poser une question. Il a dit là, je sais pas, toi tu travailles avec des fantômes. Puis là, il dit, là, t'as dit que moi puis le Russia ont été à une caoutchouc pour montrer le gaz, le prix de crude oil à 100 plus 100$. Puis c'est vrai, parce que j'ai entendu parler. Je l'ai parlé même avant. J'ai entendu dire qu'il voulait monter ça au-dessus de 100$. Faut regarder ça. Là, il a dit que c'était pas vrai. Puis là, il dit, je te l'ai dit 2 fois. Puis j'ai parlé avec quelqu'un de Router une demi-heure de temps. Fait qu'après 3 fois, vous n'avez pas compris. Il dit, pose-moi pas la question, je te réponds pas. OK? Je te réponds pas parce que t'écris des affaires de fantômes. C'est le même qui a dit ça. OK? Fait que, il a dit, t'écris des affaires de fantômes. Fait que si tu poses des questions aux autres, fine by me, mais moi, je te réponds pas. Le gars, là, était bouche bée, il s'est assis. OK? Router. Hein? Supposément, Router, c'est une agence réputée. On sait tout que c'est tout des menteurs. So, that was extremely interesting. This whole thing started collapsing when Router came asking the question. And he said, oh, you're in cahoots with Russia. You're going to bring the price of oil over $100. I told you that's what I heard. But I heard it from them. And I said, we want to listen to them and we're going to know. So, he was upset. He said, you are working with phantoms. Okay? He said, I never had a telephone call with Russia. And we never said we're going to bring the oil price to $100. He said, I told you that twice, and you repeated twice. And then I talked to somebody at Router for half an hour, and you still repeated 3 times after. So sit down. I don't want to ask questions to others, but I'm not going to talk to you. meaning you're a fucking liar, so I'm not going to talk to you. So that's what he said. It was so well done. I was like, oh, this is so fantastic. I need to go. I was so stunned that I didn't write the time, but I'm gonna find it. Look, the market is going down. So see, nothing to see here. See, it's going down. Well. That was a stroke of genius. The answer of this Saudi, is a prince. He's like Salman. I don't know, but he was very upset also with another reporter, and he gave shit to the reporter. That was really a great press conference. That's what press conference should be. Then when you deal with liars, you don't answer that question, okay? And you tell them they are liars. I'm not talking to you because you're liars. That's what Maria Sakharova does too. No CNN, no this bullshit because you're liars. You know what I'm saying? The day I will be able to understand and speak in Russian my own proper way, I will be confident and understanding. I will request to be present in the press conference to ask questions, but I don't have enough knowledge. But I'm learning. So look at that; it's going down. So see, alarmist, okay, just to scare everybody off. I told you put your gas because I didn't put gas in your car on what day are we today? Wednesday, on Monday because I knew there was OPEC meeting. Did not know what was going to happen. Now we know. No big deal. Going back to where it was. OK? C'est super intéressant, ça. C'est super intéressant parce que là, je veux revenir, moi. Je vais aller me chercher. Ça, c'est le prix. On voit ça live, là. Vous voyez, là? Donc là, je sais pas ce qu'ils disent à la télévision, là, mais... En tout cas, c'est démontré, anyway. J'ai pas besoin de savoir ce qu'ils disent. Mais moi, ce que je veux savoir, c'est que moi, je veux savoir deux choses, là. Et je vais revenir ici. Là, je vais aller faire deux choses, ok? Je vais voir si je suis capable de retrouver le router. J'étais tellement stun de la patente, là, que j'ai pas pris note. Vraiment, je prends note, là, mais là c'est trop... Personne ne dit jamais rien. Je peux circuler, c'est loin que ça. Il était après la fille. Ok, ça c'était ici. La fiche, la fille. Je regarde dans mon autre moniteur. Je vais retrouver le petit gars. Là. Non, ça c'est le gars qui parle en arabe. C'est l'autre fille. J'ai perdu le bâton. La prochaine fois, il faut que je prenne des notes. Bon, ben, j'étais tellement stun que j'ai pas pris de notes. Non, mais là, après ça, j'ai pris des notes, là. J'étais tellement surprise de qu'est-ce qu'elle dit, là. C'était... Je pense que j'arrive. Oh, God. Ouais, c'est lui. Ok, attendez une seconde. Je vais switcher ça, là. C'est lui, là. Regardez, ça, c'est le gars de router. Ok? Attendez une seconde. Regardez, il va l'expliquer, là. Écoutez, c'est bien important ce qu'il dit. Il va expliquer. Ok? Là, c'est le gars de router poser la question, là. Puis regarde bien ce que lui va répéter. C'est le prince, là, c'est lui qui est en charge. Ok? C'est vraiment important parce que c'est ça qui a fait tout que... changer le ton de la conférence de presse. C'est vraiment important d'écouter ce qu'il dit, OK? Ça va, faut que j'enlève le mute, là. En mute. Écoutez bien, là. Si vous avez manqué, là, regardez bien ça, là. Regardez bien, il va tout expliquer.
You could see reality in whichever way you want. I showed you now that oil prices are as they were almost back in January before this crisis. Check your motorists and see what they are paying for gasoline or diesel, and ask yourself the question where the money is going. You will see it in refining capacity and in refining margin and what have you. That is when it comes to Europe, when it comes to the Euro 85. Check that number and you will see what is the take of the producer, and you will find it as it is here. You know, I have Brent here. I take it, you're living in the UK. I take it also, why don't you be much more concerned about what would be the electricity prices that would be paid? What would be the gas prices that would be used to heat people, heating in this way? What, as again Suhail was saying, what is so odd about oil when it is only registering the most modest amongst other sources of energy? You have coal now, and you have gas here. And if you want to see what his electricity prices would be, look at the two, and you will figure out what would be the bill.
Can I just follow up the question?
Absolutely.
Just to follow up the question, and thank you for taking it. The gas price is widely seen in Europe and much of the Western world as having been manipulated by Russia, which has cut supply. People will now see...
Regarde bien ça, là. C'est là qu'il va sauter sa coche, OK? Fait que là, il dit parce que là, il a montré... Je vais remonter, là. Je vais montrer la patente, là. Pour que vous compreniez ce qu'il a expliqué, lui, là. Parce que là, il va sauter sa coche, lui, là. OK. Regardez ça, là. Je vais le montrer plus tard, mais là, vu qu'on a tout ça ici, on va marquer. Là, il a dit... OK. C'est quand que Vlad a rentré dans l'Ukraine pour libérer le monde contre les nazis? C'est quand? Le 24 février. Right? Bon. Right? Right. OK? So when did Vlad enter Ukraine to liberate the Nazi? When was this? To the 24th of February, correct? Yes. Now, look at the price, okay, of all the things, okay? And look at what he is talking about, okay? This is the Brent, okay? Okay? Look at that, okay? The change of price since it was 86 in January, and now it's, well, it's not even 91. Qu'est-ce que j'ai dit que c'était, là? 87. Fait que, regarde, on a le prix ici, là. On l'a ici, live, ici, là. Ça, c'est live. Crude oil. Ben, ça, c'est brand, mais c'est pas grave, là. C'est WTI, là. Yeah. Crude oil, c'est on the WTI. OK, regarde, ben, on regarde dans le WTI d'abord. Regarde, mettre ça accurate, là, pour pas personne dire des choses, là. WTI crude oil, OK, WTI, c'est brand puis WTI. Brand, c'est UK. WTI, c'est crude oil, OK? Bon. Point est, c'est que on l'a live ici, là. Là, il a montré que le crude oil, OK, c'est ce que nous autres, on prend à notre pompe, OK? Qui a rapport avec nous autres, OK? En tout cas, à Montréal, c'est le même, ça marche, OK? Au mois de janvier, c'était à 83. Il a montré la fluctuation dans l'année. Puis là, on était au mois de septembre. Ben là, on est au mois d'octobre. Au mois de septembre, et 84. On est au mois d'octobre, et 87. Bien, ça, c'est spot price, là. Mais regarde, il y a la différence, c'est de 1% dans tout ça, OK? Si tu fais la moyenne, OK? Bon, il n'y a pas rien à capoter, là, pour le crude oil, OK? So, do you understand what he was explaining? If you're not an expert on oil, if people are expert on oil, understood very well. If you're not an expert on oil, this is I am, so I'm going to show it to you. In January, the price of the crude oil on the WTI crude oil was $83. That was way before Vlad came into Ukraine. It was $83 a barrel, okay? Now, it went to all this fluctuation and to be 1% more of that. As of now, as of September, which is very true. Look at this. How much is it? 1%. Well, now we're looking at the... Hey, look, it's going down. Look how down it's going. Yeah, they didn't get the fucking sound bites. See? Going down. 87. 46, 42, 43. See? He was explaining we are stable. There's a fluctuation, sure, but it's not out of hand. Là, lui, il expliquait que là, au début de l'année, au mois de janvier, le crude oil price était à 83. OK? Là, on est rendu ben là, lui, il suffit de les chiffres qu'il pouvait montrer. Là, on commence au mois d'octobre. Il ne faut pas parler du mois d'octobre. On est le 5 octobre. OK? C'est ça, le 5 octobre? On est le 5 octobre. OK? Fait que là, il dit, on est de janvier au mois de septembre, on a eu une fluctuation. Oui, mais rien de off the fucking chart, literally. OK? Il a expliqué ça. Vous comprenez ce que j'explique, là, hein? Grace, puis tout le monde, vous comprenez ce que j'explique, right? Fait que lui, il a pris offense. Quand lui, le router, il va poser une... Fait que vous comprenez, là, que c'est pas l'OPEC puis crude oil le problème, OK? Alors, je sais bien ça, là. Vous comprenez tout ça, là? Moi, je vais expliquer ce qu'il a dit par après, là, OK? Là, après, avant d'envoyer sur Yab le router, là, il a tout expliqué ça. Ben, moi, je vous explique que vous autres, vous comprenez, là. Vous comprenez tout le monde, hein? Martine, Maurice, Grace, Sylvie, tout le monde qui m'écoute, là. Vous comprenez, là? Fait que le crude oil, là, si tu vas mettre du gaz, là, après qu'on s'est parlé, là, il ne montre pas bien, bien. Parce que, regarde, il était à 86, je l'ai tout montré tantôt, là. Il a monté de 1%, là. C'est juste à cause de ça. Mais regarde, il est stable, là. Tu comprends-tu, là? C'est d'une scène, 2 cents, mais ça va pas monter 50 cents, là. Tu sais ce que je sais? Puis les autres, ils avaient dit, tout le monde avait dit, ça va monter, que les Russians puis l'OPEC sont in caout, puis monter ça à 100 $. Hey. I'm going to explain something to you. They were saying that Russia and OPEC are in caout to bring this to $100. I'm going to explain something to you, okay? They cannot make money under $30 a barrel, okay? So you do need to them to make over, but that was like when I was trading, like 20 years, well, I don't know, 30 years ago, 25 years ago. When I was 25 years ago, I can't use these numbers. 25 years ago, I know for certainty that you needed at least $30 to actually make it, just break it, okay? Le 25 ans à peu près, là, je sais pour certaines certitudes que il fallait que ça soit, les barrels là, sur le marché, il fallait que ça soit minimum $30 juste pour être breaking even, ok? Fait que là, c'est sûr, ça a monté depuis le temps, là. Attends, Sam, il veut venir discuter de l'huile, là. T'as raison. C'est correct, ça. Ici. On dit bonjour à Sam, tout le monde. Et Sam, il va écouter le cours d'huile. OK. Bon. Fait que c'est sûr, ça peut pas être en bas de 40, 50. OK? Puis là, ça, c'est... We're talking many years ago. Today, I don't know. You know, things are so different now. OK? Là, je sais pas... Sam, arrête! Hey, Sam! Sam, calme. Là, on parle de là, 25 ans. Aujourd'hui, là, je ne sais pas, là, ça a changé, OK? Peu importe. Le seuil de production, comment ils font, il faut qu'ils fassent un petit peu de profit, on sait ça, OK? Je vais juste dire les chiffres d'eux autres et qu'est-ce qu'ils disent, OK? Mais là c'est sûr que c'est beaucoup plus haut pour toutes sortes de raisons, mais c'est pas la raison. Puis il a expliqué au début, la raison, c'était qu'il y a manque d'investissement. Suite, il a commencé son affaire en frappant l'Ouest, parce que c'est l'Ouest qui a arrêté l'investissement. OK? So do you understand that he was hitting the West since the second he started his press conference? And he said how much the oil price was, crude oil, when Donald was in power? It was not that price, because they had production, they had investment. So it was hitting the West by saying It was not like that. It was like this before. Don't blame us. It has nothing to do with Russia. It has nothing to do with the conflict. It has to do with the West. That's what he was saying. It was so clear as day. Look at the price is going down. Look how the price is going down. Bon, regardez là. Comprenez ce que j'explique, hein? Le point est, Grace, c'est que c'est l'Ouest qui fait le trouble et non OPEC. C'est ça qu'il voulait dire. OK? C'est très simple. Là, regardez ce qu'il a montré, là. Regardez ce qu'il a montré. Il a montré, check, les autres places. Comment que ça a monté? La gasoline. Lui, il n'est pas en charge. Lui, il est en charge de juste ça, là. OK? OPEC est en charge de juste ça, là. Pas en charge de tout ça. Là, il a dit, regarde tout ça. 11%. LNG, vous savez, j'ai dit, c'est liquid natural gas. France, 76%. Liquid Asia, 65%. Gas EU, c'est 69%. Natural gas US, 84%. China Coal, 33%. EU Coal, 109%. US Coal, 125%. Il a dit ça, là, moi, je contrôle pas ces marchés-là. Puis regarde comment c'est mal géré à l'opposé de nous autres. OK? Il dit, watch le crude oil, 1%. Fait, viens pas chialer à moi. C'est ça qu'il a dit. Sam, arrête. Voilà. Tu comprends-tu, là, Grace? Vous comprenez-vous, là, ce qu'il a expliqué, là? Il a dit, j'ai rien qu'à montrer une chose. Il dit, analysez ce chart-là, là, puis vous allez avoir toute votre réponse sur tout ce que vous avez à dire. OK? Il a raison, dans un sens, il a raison. Il a très raison. Fait que ça, c'est tiens-toi, West. C'est ça que ça veut dire. Tu comprends-tu, là, Grace? Non, arrête, là. J'essaie d'expliquer quelque chose, là. Comprenez-vous, là? Tu comprends, là, hein? Vous comprenez, là? Ça, ce chart-là, là. Pourquoi tu penses que ça descend tout, là? Je sais pas ce que l'Ouest dit, là, mais ça serait bien intéressant de savoir ce qu'ils disent. Voyez-vous? Vous comprenez, là, hein? Tu comprends, là, Grace, Maurice, tout le monde? Vous comprenez, là? Parce que je vais l'expliquer en anglais, là. Okay, do you understand what he was explaining? He was explaining before the Russian conflict with Ukraine, the price of crude oil was $83 a barrel, okay? As of September, it was $84, okay? So it had fluctuated during this entire conflict when everybody was not knowing where things were going, and everybody came down, and then it's still a regular price. And now we have the proof here. This is a live chart. See, it's under 1%, a dollar. You see, it's normal fluctuation. See, it's going down. So he blamed the West. He said, look at the other commodities. Look at coal. Look at natural gas. Look at LNG stands for liquid natural gas. Look at the augmentation. You look at the percentage of that has risen. Has nothing to do with us. Coal, U.S. coal, 125% has nothing to do with OPEC. So he said, go check what they go talk to them. Don't talk to us. Natural gas in the U.S. 84%. We have nothing to do with natural gas in the U.S. Okay. Liquid natural gas in France, 76%. We have nothing to do with that. So if you have something to complain, go complain to them, not to us. That's what he said. Well, I didn't say it in so many ways, but that's what he said. He said, look at the chart. The chart means it says everything. You know what I'm saying? And he's right. Okay? You understand what I'm saying, everybody? It was very well done. Now listen to what he says to the router guy when he comes back with another question, and he says, I'm not going to answer your question. This is what I want you to see. He says, I'm not going to answer your question. Okay?
Concern about the
Thank you for taking the world as having been manipulated. Price is widely seen in Europe and much of the Western world as having been manipulated by Russia, which has cut supply. People will now see Saudi Arabia.
First of all, it's a lie. Russia has not cut supply. That's actually a lie. Okay? And this guy, the prince, says, I'm not going to be caught up with your fucking lies. Arrête donc, là. Il y a vu quelque chose, là. Qu'est-ce que tu vois, là? Look at this. Okay? Listen to what the prince... Listen to his question and listen to what the prince will say. Écoute sa question, puis regarde comment le prince va répondre. Sam est tout énervé pour quelque chose. Je sais pas c'est quoi, là. Sam, tu me distrais.
Having been manipulated by Russia, which has cut supply. People will now see Saudi Arabia and the core members of OPEC and OPEC Plus cooperating with Russia to try and raise the oil price. It's a simplistic view, but
David,
that will be the view.
David, you want to twist it to your end, fine. It's your prerogative, it's your right.
Many people will see this.
We've been collaborating with all OPEC Plus countries ever since December 2016. So it is not an accident of mutual convenience, if you could call it. Again, it is not about, it is the act and the result. Show me, as I was saying to Hadley, where is the belligerence? Where is the ill intentions? There is nothing else to showcase and to prove that we are not doing what you are accusing us to doing than the chart. Look at other commodities. What is happening to other commodities? Even milk for the children. Look at that, how much it is expensive. And don't accuse us of also OPEC Plus has something to do with milk.
Là, il a dit, pas juste toutes ces commodités-là à monter, il a dit le lait aussi pour les enfants. Là, tu vas pas nous accuser que c'est notre faute que le lait a monté. Il rit de lui, là. Il rit de Roger. Tu vas pas nous accuser que c'est notre faute que le lait a monté. Écoute bien ce qu'il dit, milk, ça veut dire lait.
Or what? For the children. Look at that, how much it is. Look at other commodities. What is happening to other commodities? Even milk for the children. Look at that, how much it is expensive. And don't accuse us of also OPEC Plus has something to do with milk. Or what? All right. Okay. Yes.
The mic, please.
غالب درويش اندبندنت عربية. سيدي الوسائل الإعلام الأمريكية.
Tu vois, il n'a pas répondu à sa question. Il dit non, je ne réponds pas à ta question. Bye bye. Bon, fait que c'est ça. Bon, fait que c'est ça pour OPEC. Oui. Non, mais le prix est pareil, là. Regarde, le prix est pareil comme gars. Il n'y a pas eu de. C'est pas la fin du monde, là, regarde. Normal, plus 1%. Il y a une fluctuation de 1 à 3% par jour. Il y a pas... C'est pas la fin du monde, là. Mais l'Ouest, c'est arrivé, il va monter ça à 100, ils sont avec les caouches avec les Russes, regarde, il est arrivé à 0. Regarde. Ça l'a monté, puis quand il a envoyé chier le gars de Router, ben là, ça l'a baissé, puis ça l'a baissé depuis. Fait que, nothing to see here. Puis j'ai bien hâte de voir comment ça va fermer aujourd'hui. So do you understand that they said... I'm going to go even further for people that know. I studied this morning, and supposedly their production per day is 3 million, but they don't even have that per day. So they just brought it down, just the cap, because they're not even meeting the cap. That's what I've been told this morning. Ça a l'air que le cap, c'est 3 millions de barils par jour. Puis ça a l'air qu'ils sont même pas à 3 millions par jour, ils sont à 2005. Fait qu'ils amènent ça à 2005, mais c'est exactement ce qu'ils font. Fait que c'est juste faire du peur au monde. Là. Tu comprends-tu? Ça, c'est encore là, c'est fear-mongering des fuckers. So, they don't even produce that production. They just write it down to what actually they produce. So, it's the same, in a way. You know what I'm saying? So, it's just fear-mongering by the fuckers just to scare people off that don't know anything about crude oil. You know what I'm saying? But I know everything about crude oil, so it's not. And now you have seen it from your own eyes. It's fine. Look, it's fine. It's not $100 a barrel. It's just fine. You know? Vous le voyez là par vos propres yeux. Regarde, c'est tout. Regardez, vous avez toutes les choses là. Voilà, Wall Street commence à remonter. Là, le gold a commencé à remonter. Vous voyez là? Vous avez tout ça là. Ça c'est live. C'est pas hier, c'est live. Fait que vous voyez tout le prix ici là. Mais il n'y a rien à s'énerver. Ils veulent énerver tout le monde pour les affaires qui n'ont pas rapport avec OPEC. OK? La raison pourquoi c'est ice, parce qu'à cause des policies du fake Biden aux États-Unis. Fait que, regarde, il l'a dit, il n'a pas dit ça de même, mais c'est ça qu'il a dit. OK? Il n'a pas dit, il était vraiment shrewd, le gars, hein? He was very shrewd. He didn't point fingers at any countries, but he said, look at which country are here and which country are helping. And, il a dit l'Ouest, les États-Unis d'une façon subliminale. Tu comprends-tu? Il n'a pas dit les États-Unis ou l'Ouest. Il a montré la chart. C'est des faits. Il a dit regardez la chart, puis vous avez tout ce que vous avez besoin. Puis là, il a dit qu'il n'a pas donné de pays. Là. Il n'a pas dit que c'est le Canada, c'est les US. Il n'a pas donné de pays. Mais il était vraiment subliminal dans son affaire. Tu sais? Il avait regardé comment c'était au mois de janvier. Regardez comment c'est aujourd'hui. Puis, regardez, puis il y a la chart. La chart, là, ça tue toute la narrative des fuckers. Parce qu'avec la chart, comme j'ai montré, ça monte tout. Mais ça, là, ça veut dire encore bien plus. Parce que là, les traders, ils pensaient que ça montrait au-dessus de 80, au-dessus de 100 piastres. Fait que tout le monde a acheté un matin, avant, vous voyez, là, tout le monde a vendu, tout le monde a réacheté. Puis là, ça a monté ici. Le plus haut qu'on a vu un matin, c'était quoi? 88? 88,32. Puis, je me trompe pas, 88,32. Puis, regarde, on leur descend là. On leur descendu ici. Puis, regardez là. On est à 87, 80. Fait que dans le fond, c'est no more trading day. C'est ce que je veux dire. Fait que l'Ouest, ils ont bien mal pogné parce que là, je sais pas ce que Router va dire. Mais Router peut pas dire rien. Il a pas voulu répondre à sa question. Il a dit que c'était des menteurs. Il a dit, tu parles avec des fantômes. Il dit, moi, là, je veux pas te parler, tu parles avec des fantômes. OK? Il dit, et c'était vraiment bien dit. Puis l'autre aussi, là, Financial Times, il a dit, toi aussi, tu parles avec des fantômes. C'était drôle. Le monde riait de lui. Puis là, tu vas nous blâmer pour le lait. Le lait, là, il a monté. C'est à cause de nous autres encore, le lait. Le lait. Il riait de tous eux autres, là, aujourd'hui. Et je te dis, ce gars-là, moi, c'est la première fois que j'écoute jamais ça, les OPEC meetings, là, mais c'est la première fois que j'écoute ça, puis c'est super cool. Il a ri d'eux autres. Il a ri de tout le monde. Did you see? He was laughing at everybody. Milk came up. It's my fault. You know what I'm saying? So it's our fault if milk come up, coal come up, natural gas come up, our fault? Non, non, non. Là, tu vas poser tu vas écrire des menteries, là, tu vas dire que tu as parlé avec des fantômes, moi je veux pas te parler. Ça, il a dit. Ça, il a dit. Hein, Sam? Hein, Sam? Oui, Sam, il a dit, oui. Ceci? Ah, ouais, je te dis, là, hey, là, je sais même pas, là, ce que les autres vont dire, là, mais ils vont dire grand-chose, là. Il n'y a rien arrivé, là. Il n'y a rien arrivé, tout le monde a capoté pour zéro. Tout ça, j'ai dit, là, il disait que ça allait monter. Je vous ai dit, mettez du gaz dans votre char en cas que ça montrait. Mais là, je me suis dit, ça n'a pas de sens, là. Ils veulent avoir... Ils veulent faire... Ce qu'ils veulent, là, au PEC, c'est faire de l'argent, mais pas mettre ça à 200 piastres le baril, là, que personne ne va prendre ça, là. Puis il y a Guy de l'Ouest. Hey, ça m'arrête. Il y a Guy de l'Ouest avec leur EV. Ah, il dit, ah, oui, il dit, ah, ils veulent que tu achètes une Ferrari. Ça, c'était drôle quand elle dit ça aussi. Il a dit, il a ri du monde encore, lui. Il a dit, ils veulent que tu achètes une Ferrari électrique. Ouais. Il dit, comment tu veux que quelqu'un achète une Ferrari électrique quand ils sont même pas capables, d'avoir un char, quand il faut qu'ils coupent un arbre pour se chauffer, pour mettre de l'énergie dans leur maison. Il a ri du monde avec l'affaire électrique aussi, là. Il a ri du monde. Il a dit là, ils veulent que tu achètes. Il riait de l'Ouest à matin, c'est ça que ça veut dire. Il dit, comment tu veux qu'on achète une Ferrari électrique, le monde, quand ils sont même pas capables de mettre d'énergie, il faut qu'ils coupent un arbre pour ça. En voulant dire, là, ta Ferrari électrique ou n'importe quoi électrique, là, ils l'ont loin en tabarnak. C'est ça qu'il voulait dire. Non, je te le dis, là, il est sharp, ce gars-là, là. L'Arabie Saoudite, n'oublie pas que c'est des amis à Donald, puis c'est des amis à Vlad, hein. Fait que, regarde, c'est des ennemis des fuckers, hein. Fait qu'il a très bien fait son... j'ai bien aimé sa conférence de presse, là. Je pensais que ce serait plate, mais c'était bien intéressant. Il y avait de l'action. C'était comme regarder un film d'action. C'était drôle, puis c'était cool. Ben là, tu penses qu'il va acheter une Ferrari électrique et il est même pas capable de mettre... acheter du gaz, puis il faut qu'il coupe un arbre pour mettre... Il dit, ben oui, donc. Moi, je riais. Pas pour rien que j'ai réveillé ça. Je riais quand j'écoutais ça. J'étais là, c'est bon. Le gars, il a du guts. Ça dit la vérité. T'as pas le droit de dire la vérité, hein, de nos jours. J'étais là. C'est bon, il dit la vérité. Il va se faire frapper par l'Ouest, il va dire, I thought it was extremely funny when they said, wow, you have to buy an electric Ferrari. When people cannot even afford any type of energy, they have to cut a tree to put energy in their home. He was mocking left and right the U.S. and the West all the time. So it was very funny. I thought it was be boring as hell, but it was actually funny. I was actually laughing when he said the thing about the Ferrari. I was especially laughing when he said to the guy around, no, I'm not answering your question. I was like that. I was laughing like this. It was so funny. I need to find that exact moment where he says, no, I don't answering your question. And then the other guy came. He said, you're like that too. You're looking at Phantom too. Yeah, I noticed the reporter telling me, hey, toi aussi, tu vois des fantômes. Tu parles avec des fantômes. Il dit, moi, je veux pas répondre. C'était drôle. C'était drôle. Pour une fois qu'on a quelque chose de drôle, hein. Ouais, mais c'est drôle. Quand tu comprends pas l'affaire, tu peux pas comprendre. Mais quand tu comprends l'affaire, tu comprends. Puis moi, j'ai tout compris la patente de A à Z, puis c'était drôle. Ça veut dire, là, c'est pas nous autres, c'est eux autres. Bye bye! J'ai tout dit. J'ai montré avec ma feuille, ma short. Tu comprends ce que je veux dire? Puis viens pas nous accuser que toutes les affaires qu'on n'est pas accusé de rien. Il avait l'air vraiment insulté au début de la patente. C'était drôle. Fait que c'est ça. Hein, vous avez tout compris, là? I'm hoping everybody understood exactly what happened this morning. Because I don't know what the newspapers and the TV will say. But I don't know. They're certainly not going to show you that they told him to not talk, because not ask a question, because they're not going to answer the question. They're not going to show you that. But you can actually see it. Puis je vais le trouver, hein. Quand je vais refaire mon live, là, je vais revenir. Là, je vais aller manger, là, je vais revenir. Je vais vous montrer quand il a dit. Ouais, une Ferrari électrique. Il a ri du monde, là. Tu sais, le West, tout le temps. Il faut avoir des chars électriques. Ouais, mais il n'est même pas capable d'acheter un char. Comment tu vas acheter un char électrique, tu sais que je veux dire? Un char normal, comment tu vas acheter un char électrique, tu sais? Puis on l'a bien vu, les Tesla en Ukraine, comment ça va bien, hein? Je l'ai montré au début, hein? Tesla, là, je l'avais montré, là, je sais pas, 4-5 mois. Il n'y a plus d'électricité, il n'y a plus rien. Comment que ton char va marcher? T'es même pogné, hein? Les Tesla, ça va pas dans les war zones, ça, c'est certain. Sam, il trouve ça funny. Hein? Je l'ai montré, hein? Ça paraît avec ça. Oui. I showed to you, 4 months ago, there was a Tesla destroyed, it was left there, and then eventually destroyed in a war zone in Ukraine. How the hell can you have an electric car in the war zone? It's crazy stuff. Regardez là, c'est égal. Il n'y a pas rien changé. Ben, je suis contente que je ferai. Non, mais c'est parce que c'est tout non, mais c'est encore là, fait peur au monde, il n'arrête pas avec l'affaire nucléaire. Oh, Vlad, il va nous frapper avec des bombes nucléaires. Ça n'arrivera jamais, les aliens sont là, ils ne laisseraient jamais arriver. Il n'y a pas besoin de frapper avec des bombes nucléaires, là, regarde. Le monde, là, ils ont fait sauter la pipeline, là, l'Ouest, là, ils ont fait sauter la pipeline, là, le monde n'aura plus de gaz, là, ça va être vraiment grave pour l'hiver, le monde en Europe, là. Pas besoin de rien faire, là. Le monde, ils vont se réveiller et ils vont dire, hey, arrête avec tes niaiseries, là. Tu sais? Fait que... Ouais, exactement, Grace, irait plus vite avec un cheval, ouais. Ouais. En tout cas, c'est juste pour vous dire que rien à s'énerver, là. Tout est correct, ok? Just all this to tell you this. Everything is fine. There's nothing to worry about, okay? And he said, I'll meet you back in December. That means that's going to be the surprise until December. That's what he said. Là, il a fini sa conférence de presse. Il a dit, on va se revoir au mois de décembre. Dans 2 mois. Fait que ça va être ce prix-là jusqu'au mois de décembre. Bon. Fait qu'il n'y a pas rien à s'énerver, là. Vous comprenez, là? Il n'y a rien à s'énerver. Bon. Je vais aller dîner, là, puis je vais revenir tantôt pour notre live. Vlad, en passant, Vlad a signé le treaty à matin. Il y a eu des affaires. Puis l'Europe a capé l'huile à Vlad. Vlad a dit, si tu capes l'huile, tu n'auras pas d'huile. Fait que, regarde, il va y avoir l'action, là, cette semaine, là. Je te dis, là, aujourd'hui, là, c'est une journée action. Action. Bon. Aux questions, je quitte, tout est correct, là? Fait que, regardez, là, je vais sortir juste pour aller voir le prix du gaz, c'est pour le fun. Voir comment que le prix du gaz, mais je suis sûr qu'il est le même prix que... Il ne peut pas avoir changé de même, là. Mais vous voyez, il y a eu beaucoup de volume, mais il n'y a rien. Ouais, c'est ça. Grace, c'est tout parfait. Bon, fait que je vous vois tantôt après le dîner, ok? On va faire les nouvelles ensemble, ok? Bye bye. Merci d'être venu. Bye bye. Fait que, on n'a rien à s'énerver, là. There's nothing to worry about. Everything is fine with the crude oil. The crude oil, okay? The rest, I do not know, but that, I know. Il ne faut pas s'énerver pour le crude oil. Les autres affaires, c'est une autre affaire, mais ça on sait qu'il a dit que ça va être de même pendant 2 mois de temps. He said it's going to be like this in the next 2 months unless something really off the chart would happen, okay? À moins qu'il y ait une autre chose. Il a l'air à savoir ce qui s'en va avec ses flûtes. He looks like he knows where he's going with his ducks. And they seem to have all his ducks in a row. So, I'll see you soon.